Good afternoon. It's going to be 6:30. This is the Business Committee meeting at 201 Lindenwood. Actions to be reviewed at the regular board meeting December 19, 2018, and recommended by the Business Committee. Number one, approval of monthly disbursements.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Molina, Mr. Ramirez, Mr. Gilpin, and Mr. Montemayor. The Division of Finance presented you all with the disbursements for the month of November. I don't know if at this point you all have any questions over any of the disbursements.
Any questions? Thank you. Approve a budget amendment.
Yes, sir. We're presenting, the Division of Finance is presenting the very first budget amendment of the year, and it's for the Aquatic Center. It was presented to you all last month for $18,470,000. We do have monies in restricted fund balance of $8,280,218. And we have monies available in our unassigned fund balance of $10,189,988. And that's a budget amendment that is in advance of the next item that you all are going to approve, which is the resolution, if approved.
Okay. Number three, approval of property tax refund for the month of November 2018.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Santos, members of the audience. I bring to you the approval of a property tax refunds for the month of November. I have a tax refund for taxpayer William McKendrick III for a total of $1,506.67. It's an erroneous payment. However, there's no loss of revenue to the district. Do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number four, approval of resolution to use funds from the Webb County school land to construct the aquatic center.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Santos, and members of the audience. We're bringing this resolution. Administration is recommending that the board approve the attached resolution, which allows the district to utilize $8,280,218 in our restricted funds, and that's the budget amendment that Sam just showed you for the aquatic center, and commit future revenue from the Webb County school lands to reimburse the district's general fund unassigned fund balance. As of this time, the fund balance shows that we're going to get $10 million from our unassigned fund balance. The rationale is that the district has determined, with the Board of Trustees approval of the resolution, that the expenditure of district funds for the construction of an aquatic center is necessary and appropriate in the interest and conduct of the district's public schools. The district has deemed the use of Webb County school land funds as appropriate for the construction of the aquatic center as in accordance with the Article 7, Section 6 of the Texas Constitution. And there's the resolution. I don't know if I need to read it. There's a lot of whereas, so I don't know.
Do you want to do this now?
Oh, okay, you want me to read it for you?
Do y'all want to do this now, or I think the county is not going to pass this until January.
Well, I think ours is really to pass resolution to allow us that, as whenever we get funds, to be able to pay ourselves back.
Just to
Yes.
restrict those funds
Yes,
to.
so it's
At
totally
this
separate.
At this point, we do have the $8.2 million. That we do have already. And we're asking the $10 million to be moved from the general funds to the construction fund for that. And
reimbursed.
Yeah, as we
Correct.
get, yes.
So what do you normally get on a yearly basis?
The one that we're, between 1 million, the one that we're supposed to get this coming December, or when the commissioners approve it, is going to be 1.7 million. It's really tied to a lot of royalties, so depending on how oil and gas are doing, I know there was a couple of years that it was low, but it bounces back. We have grazing leases, hunting leases as revenue also coming in, besides the royalties.
I think the lowest that we've gotten the last, I'd say maybe 5-6 years, has been a little bit more than 600,000.
Yes.
So we're looking at probably the next 7-8 years.
At
of
least,
commitments.
yes.
How long will it take? Have you been studying how long will it take to the construction of the?
Yes, I think construction, I think Mr. Fajed said anywhere between 18 to 24 months. That's why tomorrow, the board is invited, we're going to do the groundbreaking at the aquatic center. I think it's at 10 o'clock.
An estimation of the value that it was going to be sufficient with the money that is going to be used?
Well, that's the price that we got, the
That's the price.
GMP. It was the 18 million, yes, sir, that the board approved last month. So that should be able to take care of the the aquatic center.
I'll make the motion to approve that. Well, that's for approval now. Do we need to make a motion for that, or do we just wait for the?
On the regular board meeting.
Regular board?
Recommendation,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
and you
can-
can read the whole thing there.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Number 5, approval of awards of bids and proposal and qualifications. Yeah.
Good evening, members of the board. We have RFP 2018-065, small engine parts and repairs. The recommended vendor is AgPro. We also have 2 renewals for your consideration. The first one is the E-rate. We're only asking for Section 5 to be renewed, which is the telecommunication services, for the estimated 5-year contract amount of $164,772. RFP 2016-048, student extracurricular insurance. If you recall, when we brought this, the first 2 years were guaranteed at $514,000, and then the third year would have been $530,000. The renewal came in at $515,452, and it includes an additional campus.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Approval and request for board members' use of discretionary funds for various progress campuses.
There are no additional requests other than the ones that were contained in your packet.
Okay. That's it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Informational items to be presented to the Business Committee, Financial Division monthly financial reports.
We're bringing to you our superintendent's monthly financial report. As of November 30th, we had a cash investment balance of $178,079,248. The bulk of it, or 67.6%, is in general fund. We still have some funds left from our PPFCO series. And then debt service has 11.3 million. And the bond issues have a little more than $40 million. 18% of our portfolio are in demand accounts, 2.25% is a portfolio yield, and 2.34% is a current pool rate. Our administrative cost ratio is at 8.26%. We budgeted 8.07%, and both are allowed by TA, which is 11.05%. Our unaudited statements have our revenue actual to date is 128.3 million of 364 million, or 35.26%. Last year at this time, we were at 34.7%. Our year-to-date expenditures, 131.7 million of 383.9. We're at 34.32% of our budget, and last year at this time, we were at 33%. Our tax office report, the current collection rate is 23.14% with our new levy, and the amount is 49,110,821 to date, which is December 11th. We're at 34.98%. The delinquent collection rate, we're at 36.02%, and 2,434,725 have been collected, or to date 36.58%. And there's some comparison to the same time last year, last November. The purchasing report includes all the bids and proposals awarded through November 30th, and the grants report section has the grants department activity for the month and year-to-date activity. What's been reviewed, submitted, and negotiated on behalf of the United ISD district. I don't know if any has
I wonder why
any.
the collection rate's a lot more on a percentage basis. Any particular reason? Is it maybe a little different time of the month when it was calculated or whatever? It's kind of significant.
It's just, you know what's a key thing is getting our mortgages in, and sometimes they send it October, sometimes they send it in November. If it's one big bank that's sending it in, it can really. And then we also keep an eye on our top 10, and they're usually the mineral companies. So we always keep an eye on those as well, and I can ask, I'll get with Monica to see.
We received a $20 million payment at the last day of the month that we usually don't get until December.
Okay.
So that kind of messed with the numbers a little bit.
So,
Yeah, good mess.
yes, that's a good month, yes. Thanks, sir. I don't know if anybody has any other questions.
Budget calendar for 2019 to 2020.
So it's that time of the year again when we start talking about next year, and it's a little crazy. But we're bringing to you our budget development calendar for the 2019-2020 calendar. There's a timeline. Really, at this time of the year, we're having meetings every Monday, talking about projected enrollments, talking about boundaries, talking about our schools that are opening next year, talking about dual language programs, special ed units, just everything that you have to look at on a year-to-year basis. Then the rest of the days, one of the key days this year is January 8th, 2019. That's when the 86th legislative session begins. We are scheduling a meeting with our legislators to kind of share some ideas that we have, if they can take up to Austin on our behalf. We'll go through the spring meeting with departments for staffing, for budget needs, with our campuses. And then all the other dates here are pretty much the business committee nights, and we would be bringing you updates throughout the spring about what we're working on the budget. And then the last day of the 86th legislative session is May 27th. Hopefully there's not going to be a one of those
Special call.
special call session. And then we'll wrap up the summer, hopefully balancing our budget and bringing you a balanced budget by August 31st for your adoption.
Have y'all talked to Lynn Moak by any chance? Has he indicated any issues that?
We've been seeing some presentations from him, and what's going on right now in Austin is that Governor Abbott formed 3 committees. One of them is like a revenue committee, and they're all coming up with their final recommendations. They're all over the place, to tell you the truth. A lot of tax property relief, a lot of like maybe even recognizing
Vouchers.
and giving us money for dyslexia, more money for our low-income students, things of that nature. So we're listening, and he's kind of, through Region 1, he presents to us, and then we do have a contract with him, so we could bring him down if we do have specific questions in certain areas. But until they actually start talking about what they really want to do, but those are some things that are coming out right now.
Just looking for like an outlook, what is forecast?
You know, everything we hear, I hate to say it, doesn't look good. But, you know, I know that their rainy day fund is hefty. And there are a lot of legislators that are trying to push to revise the funding formula that have been there for quite some time. So we're optimistic to a certain point, but, you know, I think our step is to begin to focus based on Mike's enrollment, staffing at schools, looking at the possibility of opening up Herrera Middle School. Salinas, we're not too sure yet with those rainy day extensions. It might be a little further down the road. If it's not ready this year, then I know it'll be ready for 19-20 school year. I know LBJ will be ready, so we're looking at that. If Herrera opens up, then the current 12th and 6th grade will become 6th grade for United Middle and do away with all the portables that they have. I think that'll be also good for that campus. So, you know, we're keeping an eye, keeping the pulse on what's happening there, and we're going to meet with Mr. Raymond, Richard Raymond, and Tracy King. The board is invited. It'll be next Tuesday. Just to begin to share some items, we also want to talk to them about the county land fund. I think somewhere down the road, we'd like to see if they pursue a constitutional amendment to be able to get the districts to really oversee and control the county land funds. I think our interest obviously is more for our gain. You know, I think there's revenue that we can probably add to those county lands, because again, I know the county doesn't get any money out of that. So there's a lot of things that we're looking at. I think, you know, things are looking good. I think academically, visiting with Mr. Gonzalez and his staff, we're moving forward. Obviously, we want to continue with that A rating. You know, there's a little pressure at the campuses, but, you know, we'll stay the course, and we've got some real good administrators that will continue to move us forward. Today, we had our meeting with them, and I know we have submitted several applications, one as a district for the HEB fund, and then we probably have about 5 or 6 middle school principals that that their name has been submitted for, middle school principal of the year. So there's a lot of good things that are happening at our schools, and we're excited on that.
Okay, before we close, I want to wish Mr. Ramirez, Saturday was his birthday. I think Mr. Gilpin's birthday was also, no? This week? Well, everybody's birthday. You all take care, have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.